Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Report. I'm Rick Heath, with me Mark Rodgers, and we are at the Cohiba Lounge, adjacent to Royal Pipes and Tobacco, where they have great cigars like Cohiba Red Dot right here. It's a great cigar that you can't find just anywhere, but Cohiba Lounge and Royal Pipes and Tobacco have that right here, and you can smoke a wonderful cigar like that. Watch your favorite sporting event at Cohiba Lounge. And speaking of our favorite sporting events here, gosh, the Thunder are just a must-watch these days on TV with how they're playing, Mark.
Well, since the beginning of the new year, they've lit up several Cohiba victory cigars. 5 out of 6. They're playing really good basketball. I think the best is still ahead of them this year. The schedule will ease up a little bit, and they've won some tough games on the road so far in January. So I love the way the team's playing.
Well, you know, they're a fun team, you know, and I mentioned this a couple shows ago that I'm having a lot of fun watching them. And you said, well, there was a lot of fun had during KD and Russ and all that. And true, but we expected so much more out of those teams. They were playing for championships and advancing and all that. This one is just playing to get better. And the youthful exuberance that they are exhibiting on a nightly basis, I find contagious.
No, it's fun. I think that you're seeing a lot of improvement from some of the young players. Obviously, we've seen SGA take a major step up from a guy with potential to a guy that's realized his potential as an NBA All-Star. I think Josh Giddey has had an incredible month of January, so he still has some room to improve. But this team is, and then Jalen Williams was a great draft pick who's turned a lot of eyes in the NBA. So that's a really good core right there with Chet Holmgren on the bench and a ton of picks in the next 2 years. So there's a lot to be excited about. And I think the NBA is starting to realize how much there is to be excited about in Oklahoma City.
Well, you know, and that's the good thing about it. You know, when they played the 76ers, you know, a lot of people got their attention. When they played Miami, you know, they was on national TV for the first time. You know, and so they got some attention, but they even got more attention when they played the Nets, because the Nets broadcast footprint is so vast in the New York area that all of a sudden now people are starting to realize, hey, this Thunder team's fun to watch.
Well, especially for Josh Giddey. He had a great game in Brooklyn. That was impressive to see what he's doing. And his numbers in January are off the charts. He's 50, 40, 90 in January, and close to that, you know, if you trend up for the last 2 months. So hopefully that he can get close to that for the season. That would be impressive.
And I got a quote for you here I'm going to bring up later in the show. I think you'll enjoy. But hey, we are at Cohiba Lounge, adjacent to Royal Pipes and Tobacco. Royal Pipes and Tobacco been here 50-something years. Great selection of cigars and pipe tobacco. And Cohiba Lounge was developed so you can come in and smoke that wonderful cigar and watch your favorite sporting event while sipping on your favorite drink. So we are at Cohiba Lounge here in Norman, and we'll be right back. Hook and Reel Cajun Restaurant and Seafood Bar here, featuring signature drinks like the Margarita and the Hook Punch, of which we've tasted, and very delicious, may I say. They also have wonderful signature drinks, but you got to come by and get the crab boils, or they got crab rolls, they got Cajun crab fries, they've got crab chowder, and also lobster bisque. All of that here available at Hook and Reel Cajun Seafood and Bar.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wonderfolk Spirits, distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wonderfolk Gin, Wonderfolk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wonderfolk Spirits.
EDS Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for auto body repair. Whether it be from hail damage, dents, scratches, or even glass replacement and repair, we can accommodate all your needs. Locally owned and operated since 2005, EDS Paintless Dent Repair is here for you. Give us a call at 405-476 1763. Or go to edspaintlessdentrepair.com.
At Laser Light Skin Clinic, our most popular treatment is now more affordable than ever. Right now, you can save up to 50% on Cool Sculpting, the #1 choice for non-invasive fat reduction. Our flexible treatment plans allow you to choose the option that is perfect for you. Focus on a single problem area or revive your life with a fresh new you. These are real results. For your personal Cool Sculpting consultation, call Laser Light Skin Clinic today. A new you awaits.
And welcome back. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath with you from Cohiba Lounge here in Norman. I want to put to rest and throw all the dirt I can on to all those out there that even mention the word tank. Okay? Because if you even mention the word tank right now, I've got a quote for you that will put it out of your mind, okay? Courtesy of Barry Trammell.
All right.
Barry Trammell says the reason why a tank is not going to happen with this Thunder team is because Sam Presti wants SGA to feel like he can reach the highest peak he can right here in Oklahoma City with the Thunder.
Well, they're competitive right now. They're within a game and a half of 6th place in the West. And so if you want to break it down, you can look at it this way. I think they're better than San Antonio, Houston, Utah, and maybe one more team in there. They're competitive with the Lakers.
Right.
I think competitive with the Kings and the Timberwolves, potentially.
Yes.
So at the end of the year, in the last 10, 12 games, if it needs to be tweaked or adjusted, it might. I don't know. It might be some situational rest for SGA. And that's smart. But no, I think they're going to compete and try to win right now and not manage it early.
And I agree with you. Now, that being said, what Barry was wanting to point out is Sam Presti wants SGA to feel like his home is here for the next 5 years.
Well, I would hope SGA felt that way already. They've given him a max contract, which has shown all the loyalty Oklahoma City can potentially offer him. They've done everything they can to draft well, acquire assets, and all those things. So the organizational approach for me has been spot on.
Yeah.
I think last year they did what they needed to do, and they got the number 2 overall pick, which is really good. This year, their odds weren't so good to have that top pick. I mean, they've got a potential lottery pick, but it's not. With the other teams in the NBA, they're going to be better than some of them because they've built it well. So I've not really ever been critical of Sam Presti. I think he's done a great job. He's missed on some picks here and there, but if you look at all the other GMs in the NBA, they've missed on some picks as well. But I think that, there's no guarantee that SGA won't want to go someplace else when his contract is up. I don't think he will ever be a player that demands a trade in the middle of his contract. But I think that Oklahoma City has, for a long time before this season, shown that this is a place that he can build and try to win a championship.
Well, especially this year, if he gets voted in to be an All-Star or selected in some form
I
of fashion.
think starter is the floor here.
Yeah.
He's going to be an All-Star.
Yeah.
I think that's without a doubt.
So, and get him there and get that national notoriety for him and let him feel like, hey, this team is in the right, doing everything they can, just like you said. And I think that's important to him. Let's go back to Giddey now.
All right.
Josh Giddey is playing into his potential. To me, he's realizing he's 6'8". He's a mismatch on most nights, and he's using his body to get inside and to bully people around. Now, when he first came out last year, that wasn't a word or a phrase that you would think of with Josh Giddey in bullying or bodying, because he was a little frail. But now he's feeling his body, and he's taking the shorter guys in a mismatch to the hole and doing quite well while he's doing it.
It's way beyond his years because he's still very young, and I could see how he could be intimidated by the NBA. He didn't grow up playing against a lot of guys in the United States, and he's really comfortable, and I think that you're right, his shot is improved, which is a big deal. His defense has to improve for him to be an elite NBA player, because right now it's just not it's not great. But everything on the offensive end of the floor has been spectacular and getting better. So just like SGA taking a big leap from last year to this year, you want to see another leap from Giddey, or potential leap from where he's been at the beginning of this year just to now. And it's been consistency over 2 months. The first 2 months of the season, okay. Next 2 months of the season has been really good. 20 points a game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. And I'm sorry, I will not try to get on Russell Westbrook, but these aren't empty calories.
Yeah.
I mean, these are playing within the flow of the game. It's not get out of my way, I got this rebound, or I'm
You
driving
gotta
in the
stay
lane
on
and
that
throwing a
side,
pass out here that somebody's going to catch it and maybe make a shot. So he's playing incredibly well.
You know, and he's doing it on I don't want to say limited minutes, but they're watching his minutes. He's
about 32 a game.
Yeah, you know, which is good for a young player.
That's good.
Okay, I got a trick question for you.
All right, give it to me.
Yeah. So while we get ready to go to break, is Josh Giddey the best Australian player? If not, who might be?
All right, I'll think about it.
Think about that during break.
Come back.
Hey, Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath here from Cohiba Lounge, where you can come in and get a top flight cigar like a Cohiba Red Dot and light it up right here in the Cohiba Lounge and watch your favorite Thunder team play at night and sip on your drink of choice right here at Cohiba Lounge. So come by and visit Cohiba Lounge and Royal Pipes and Tobacco here in Norman. We'll be right back.
The painting professionals at Ray the Painter are committed to providing all of our customers excellent service and attention to detail. Since we started in 1991, Ray the Painter serves the entire OKC metro area. We do interiors, exteriors, residential, and commercial work. The experts at Ray the Painter offer custom finishes and glazes for cabinetry and woodwork, as well as spray, brush, roller, and trowel techniques to get the perfect look for your project. For a free estimate, call 405-605-3563 or visit us at paintokc.com.
Let me tell you about a new Mexican restaurant brought to you by the same people here that have Bar Chichetti. That's right, El Coyote is a new Mexican restaurant. That is from New Mexico style food. It's a great new restaurant by the same people that bring you Bar Chichetti. You gotta try it. 925 West Britton Road in Oklahoma City. New Mexico Mexican food style. You can't find it anywhere else in Oklahoma City. So go to El Coyote, the same people that bring you Bar Chichetti. Okay, we have a special guest here today of the Oklahoma Sports Report. Mariah Calhour of Calhour Real Estate Group.
I will tell you, interest rates are going up. I think they're kind of getting up into that 6 and 7 range. I don't see a problem with that. I know most people who are used to that 2 and 3, they're kind of like, oh my gosh. But I will tell you, and maybe you know this, interest rates once upon a time were up in like 18 and 19. So when we hear 6 and 7, I'm not worried. I'm comfortable with it.
Well, you know, and if you really look at it over a 30-year fix, we're talking, you know, a few $100 over a year's period of time.
Right.
When you break it down on a daily basis, it may be only $1 or $2 a day.
And you can always refinance.
Yes, and then you can always bring it back down when interest rates are more favorable. And if you need any more information and the expert opinion of the expert, Mariah Calhour of Calhour
Group Realty.
Realty. Give them a call and they will find out. Or your Facebook page.
Yes, anywhere. You can Google me and you'll find me and I'll help you out.
There you go. And welcome back. Oklahoma Sports Report. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from Cohiba Lounge. Okay, Mark, before we went on break, I asked you a question about, is Josh Giddey perhaps the best Australian player? If not, whom might be? And your thought is?
He's got a few years to go, or at least a ways to go in matching Luke Longley for championships. But I'm going to say Matthew Dellavedova is the best Australian player that's played in the NBA. He had a good career and played on a championship team.
He's still playing. He's on a roster still.
There we go. So Giddey has got a ways to go before he gets there. He's not there yet.
Yeah,
he's on the trajectory to pass that.
You know who I came up with?
Who's that?
Andrew Bogut.
Andrew Bogut is probably that's probably the right answer.
You know, I mean, and the reason why
extremely high pick.
And this is why it was a trick question.
Yeah.
Because I saw a quote today by Andrew Bogut.
Okay.
Saying that Josh Giddey is the best Australian player.
Oh, I'm glad he's on the bandwagon.
So, I mean, you know.
Right now.
Right now. You know, and so he goes, he's got a chance to be the best ever. You know.
Well, and basketball in Australia is big. That's a good Olympic team that they have. and they have good players overall. So it's developed.
Well, Luke
a lot more.
Longley's got a ring. Andrew Bogut's got a ring with the Warriors. I mean, those guys have achieved the ultimate success of winning the NBA title. So, I mean, he's got a long way to go. Will he get there? Maybe not on the ring side or whatever, like Luke Longley, because he was on a great team. But his skill level is such that he has the ability to eclipse any of these guys.
Now, is Patty Mills Australian or New Zealand?
No, he's Australian.
Okay, well, Patty Mills might be up there.
Patty Mills right now, you probably would give him on his career.
I would say tomorrow, if we had to play, I'd take Josh Giddey. But based on the career, it's definitely.
You know why? Because Josh Giddey would take Patty Mills to the hole.
Right now, yes.
Because they both are guards. One 6'2", one 6'8". There's a little bit. But anyway, I saw that from Andrew Bogut, and I thought that was intriguing to think about. Because Josh Giddey is just playing so much better and with more, and he already possessed innate skills and maybe one of the best passing guards and rebounding guards in the NBA right now.
Well, the confidence at a young age, I think, is what makes him so exciting.
Yeah. And he's going to get nothing but better. Another player that I want to talk about is Lou Dort. Lou Dort, probably one of the top 5 on-ball defenders, maybe top 3 on-ball defenders in the NBA.
I would give you top 5. I think I could probably name 3 better. I think the biggest question with Lou, and this is going to be a big question coming up with Oklahoma City, is when guys are fighting for the next meal, they play a lot differently. When a guy gets $60 million, it sometimes, I think, changes the mentality, and that's not a knock against Lou, but it has to, I think you have to be critical as a club of who are we going to give the extensions to, because they're going to have so many young players that potentially could be deserving of that. And they've got some guys on scale, like Kenrich Williams. He's playing for less than he should be. I think Lou Dort's playing for more than he's worth right now. And I think that he really has to try to step it up to another level to keep that night in, night out energy coming.
And I don't have a problem with that at all, because my problem with Lou Dort is he doesn't finish well. He gets to the rim a lot, but he doesn't finish well. He takes too many three-point shots that are ill-advised or early shot clock three-pointers. And I think maybe, like you said, you may have touched on one of those important points. Since he's gotten that big contract, he feels entitled to take those shots.
I think that's right.
And I think he needs to earn his money back again on the defense and let the offense come to him. So,
it's ironic that when we talk about this team, we're not mentioning him. And I think that if you would have thought about it a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, we would have talked about him as being a piece of this team going forward.
Yeah.
And listen, potentially he could be a really good piece on a team that wants to try to win a championship. But right now, it's all about, to me, the emergence of SGA, the potential of Giddey, Jalen Williams, some of the other young players that I think are kind of fitting into roles. And I would say the development of Poku, who's not been playing for the last 5 weeks, has been a big story too. So, we'll see how Lou would fit in, maybe potentially with another team, or I could fit in here in Oklahoma City. But at his best, he's a good player. But I still think it's short of what he's made.
And we're going to talk about building blocks in a little bit, and I want you to address that, when we talk about that. The other guy, J-Dub, Jalen Williams from Santa Clara. Gosh, what a all-around game and an awareness for such a young player on how to play at this stage. On this stage,
he's a different position, but he reminds me of Draymond Green because he does everything well. He plays defense, he passes, he can make a shot. He's a better shooter, maybe not quite as good of a defender. He's better in the open floor, and at times the Thunder have challenged him, I think, just for fun, just to see what we have. Go get some baskets at the end of the game, and he's done it at this young stage in his career.
That's the most impressive part about it to me.
One thing I did see where talking about him, if they redrafted, that he'd be a top 5 pick. Now the Thunder picked him in the top 11, so I'm saying it's not that he was that low of a pick, but he's playing and performing as a top 5 rookie.
And what the game that SGA set out, they beat Boston. Okay, at the end of that game, it was a big blowout, but while they were building that lead, they were clearing out for him. He was bringing the ball up
20
and
points,
dealing.
And he had 20 points, and there were 4 other players that had 20 points that night. So it shows that's not really something that you see in the box score, but he contributed to that overall team success and did handle the game like you talked about. It was impressive.
And I like his overall game. Like you said, I like the comparison, the comp with Draymond. Draymond, one of my most distasteful players. I don't like anything about him because of his attitude, but I have to respect his game and what he brings to the Warriors. He holds those Warriors together with his defense and his commanding presence, and I don't know that J-Dub will ever get to that point, but he does have a better offensive game than Draymond does right now.
Right. Overall skills, I think when you talk about the 5-tool skills, he's there.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, we are at Cohiba Lounge, Royal Pipes and Tobacco here in Norman. You got to come by if you're a cigar smoker, pipe smoker, or any other kind of smoker. Cohiba Lounge, you can get a wonderful, like a Cohiba Red Dot cigar at Royal Pipes. Come over here, fire it up, and watch the Thunder play and have a favorite beverage. Can't beat it right here at Cohiba Lounge in Norman. And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from Royal Pipes and Tobacco and Cohiba Lounge here in Norman. You know, we were talking about the players, you know, everybody knows, but who are the building blocks for this Thunder? You started to mention it in one of the segments previous, in that, you know, you look at them and you go, gosh, because Mark Dagenhart plays so many players. I mean, he plays 10 deep, sometimes 11 deep. You know, if you had to look at building blocks that say, gosh, you know, for sure he's going to be here next year, you know, because the trade deadline's coming up. Will the Thunder make a deal on that? Sam Presti, I personally think they'll probably kind of hold tight, maybe work around the edges. You know, maybe a Baisley out for somebody else or something like that, or give Muscala a chance to play on a championship team. Now, that would be a tough decision because Muscala is such an integral part of being a center now with everybody, Poku and JRE on the you know, being injured. But let's talk building blocks. Of course, you got SGA. You got Giddey. Now, Dort may or may not be. I mean, let's talk about that.
Well, again, it depends on who would want him, what his contract value is, what is coming back in return. He's not hurting you right now. And the Thunder are going to be based on rookie contracts going forward for the next 2 or 3 seasons, especially after the 24 draft when they have a bunch of picks in what could be, you know, one of the better drafts in a while. Then they have to start managing the contract. So I don't think we're even in a place to discuss building blocks right now. The best building blocks are in the future, and we haven't even mentioned Asmani Jang, who I think they feel like is a building block. The guy they traded some first-round picks for to take early, that's athletic and has a lot of potential to develop into a really good player. The Thunder may compete this year to try to get into a play-in game, or, you know, potentially compete for that playoff spot, but I really don't think that that's the focus. I think the focus is continuing to build. If there's a team that needs a trade piece, Oklahoma City, I think, will work with them. I don't think they're going to acquire somebody that can play rim defense this year to help them make that move, because I think that the excitement here is what's going to build, and I think that's coming in the draft in the next 2 years, and that's coming with the development of Giddey, SGA, Jalen Williams, and all those type of players, which is really exciting. It's not going to be measured in wins or losses this year. You know,
and I agree. And the reason why I like watching this team is because they play the right way. You know, and a lot of that's got to go to the coach. Mark Dagenhalt's doing such a good job of putting what his philosophy is into the players, and then they taking it and making it happen on the court. They make the right pass, they make the right rotation on defense, they give the right kind of effort, they're unselfish, and you can see that when you see SGA, when Shea is playing well. He doesn't always look to score. Now, he'll go to the hole when they need it, but he's also looking to who's open, who else is there. He'll have 5 or 6 assists on a night that he scores 38 points.
Well, I think it's coach and culture, and I think it's Presti at the top. He saw how it was developed in San Antonio, and I don't think Dagenhalt compares to Pop, but I'm saying is that it's a young team that gets molded by the organization, and it's going really, really well right now. I mean, I think that it's been a couple of really, really tough years, obviously, and the attendance showed that. I mean, fan support probably waned a little bit, but I think that we're seeing now the fruits of all that work.
Well, right now, you know, and I'm talking with some of the Thunder insiders, I mean, they're getting calls about tickets, and not only just game tickets, but season tickets.
Yeah, that's great.
So, you know, that's the part that, you know, you're starting to get the attention of your fan base when your calls for season tickets pop up 20-25% over a week and a half to 10 days. Since Christmas break to now, we were talking 3 weeks, and all of a sudden, they've had an increase in phone volume on asking about and requesting information about season tickets, almost 20%, which is substantial, and that gets the front office attention when that starts happening. And and I like the way they play. I'm an unabashed Thunder fan. I make no apologies for it. I enjoy it, and I hope the rest of the people in Oklahoma City are enjoying and getting a chance to enjoy this team as much as I am. So,
I agree.
Okay, that's going to do it for this week's show. Mark Rodgers, I'm Rick Heath. We'll see you next time on the Oklahoma Sports Report.